Your past doesn't hurt you. People do when they use it as a weapon. Think about it. You've moved on, you've healed, you've built peace after years of mistakes and pain. But one day, maybe someone you once trusted, reaches back into your past and throws it in your face. Remember who you were, they say, and suddenly your chest tightens. Not because the past has returned, but because you realize someone is using it to control you. That moment feels like betrayal all over again, doesn't it? We get angry, we defend ourselves, we start explaining, "I've changed. I'm not that person anymore." But the more we explain, the deeper we sink into their trap, because every explanation gives them power over our emotions. A Stoic doesn't play that game. They don't fight to prove who they are. They show it through calm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If anyone can provoke you, it means you've given them power." And that's the real test. Not how perfect your past looks, but how peaceful your present feels. So the next time someone digs into your history, don't react like a wounded soul trying to erase it. Stand tall. Because your past isn't a prison, it's proof. Proof that you've fallen, learned, and risen again. Every scar tells a story of strength. Every mistake built a wiser version of you. And here's a truth they'll never understand. Those who try to shame you with your past usually haven't made peace with their own. So don't fight them. Don't justify. Just breathe, smile, and remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for the person you used to be. Because the real question isn't, what happened to you? It's, who have you become because of it? The Stoics' 3 responses when someone uses your past against you. I have a get now. They can only shame you with your past if you're still hiding from it. Picture this. Someone digs up an old version of you, an old job you lost, a choice you regret, a chapter you've already closed, and they throw it on the table like evidence. The body reacts first. Heat in the chest, a rush to explain, a need to say, I've changed. But that urge is the trap. The more you justify, the more you hand them the steering wheel to your emotions. A Stoic does something quieter and stronger. We practice acceptance, not excuses, not denial. Just the simple sentence, yes, that happened. Why does that line work? Because it removes the oxygen from the fire. People who weaponize your past don't want truth. They want control. When you accept the fact without drama, there's nothing left to twist. Try it in real life. Didn't you get fired from that company? Yes, and I learned a hard, valuable lesson. No shame, no theater, just ownership. Seneca put it this way, there is nothing more noble than standing before your own faults and saying, yes, I did that and I learned from it. Acceptance is liberation because it ends the negotiation with your former self. It tells your nervous system, we're not running anymore. And when you stop running, the past stops chasing. Ask yourself, what's heavier, the memory itself, or the story you use to hide it? If the story is what hurts, drop it. Stand in the light. Your scars are not indictments. They are signatures, proof that you met life where it was and kept going. So the next time someone tries to pin you to your history, breathe. Answer plainly. Let their script fall flat. Because a healed person has nothing to defend, and a calm person is very hard to manipulate. Yes, that happened. And because you can say that, you're free to become who you are now. I've learned from it how to turn the same past into your power. Your past isn't proof of failure, it's evidence that you've grown strong enough to face it. Most people stop at regret. They replay their mistakes like a movie they can't pause. But a Stoic learns to see every scene differently. You don't have to erase what happened. You have to extract its lesson. That's what turns pain into wisdom. Think about it. When someone reminds you of your past, didn't you fail that project? Or didn't your marriage fall apart? They're only seeing who you were back then. What they don't see is what those moments built inside you. Just like steel forged in fire, Every heartbreak, every loss, every wrong turn sharpens your character. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a prison cell. He could have come out bitter. Instead, he said, "I do not hate them. I learned that true freedom begins within." That's what transformation looks like, not pretending the fire didn't happen, but walking out of it more refined. So when life throws your past at you, respond not with shame, but with growth. Say it calmly. "Yes, I've learned from it." That sentence shifts everything. It moves the story from "I was wrong" to "I became wiser." You reclaim authorship over your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice virtue." That means your struggles aren't stains. They're symbols of evolution. The broken pieces of your past are not proof of weakness. They're the places where light entered you. So ask yourself, what did your last mistake teach you? Patience, compassion, strength? Then honor it. Because growth is not about forgetting who you were. It's about becoming someone your old self would look up to. "I've learned from it." That's not a defense. It's a declaration of power. Why are you bringing this up now? The question that silences every manipulator. Calm is the move that flips the power. One question makes it happen. Why are you bringing this up now? Picture the moment. A coworker, an old friend, maybe even a family member drops a detail from your past on the table like a weapon. Your body wants to sprint, defend, explain, lash out. Don't. Breathe. Look them in the eye and ask, gently, "Why are you bringing this up now?" No anger, no sarcasm, just curiosity. That single question changes the room. You step out of the witness stand and into the judge's chair. If their intention was sincere, maybe concern, maybe confusion, it gives them space to reflect and clarify. But if their goal was to shame, to provoke, to control, the mirror turns toward them. They must face their motive. And most manipulation withers in daylight. This is not a trick, it's a discipline. Epictetus taught that people who harm are often already in pain. Your question doesn't humiliate them. It reveals the wound behind the behavior. You refuse to join the chaos, and that refusal is strength. Try it in real life. Remember when you messed up that deal? Why are you bringing this up now? If they say, "Because I'm worried you'll repeat it," you can engage with wisdom. If they stumble, deflect, or escalate, you've already learned what you needed to know without raising your voice. Notice what this does for you. Your pulse slows, your thinking clears, your dignity stays intact. You are no longer the character in their script. You are the author of your response. And when your nervous system discovers that calm is available on command, you become very hard to move. That is how composure becomes armor. Quiet, steady, untouchable. The point isn't to win the moment, it's to keep your center. Ask the question, hold your ground, and let silence do its work. The power of silence and self-control, why saying less often says everything. Silence isn't weakness. It's what real power sounds like when it no longer needs to prove itself. In a world where everyone rushes to respond, the Stoic learns the opposite art, the discipline of staying still. Every impulsive reaction you give is a gift to someone who wants control over your emotions. That's why Seneca said, "The one who angers you conquers you." It's not poetic, it's psychological truth. The moment you lose your calm, you lose your command. Think about it. Someone throws a jab, criticizes you, or twists your past to provoke you. Your ego wants to answer, to defend, to prove them wrong. But if you pause, breathe, and say nothing, suddenly the game changes. You've turned their attack into noise and yourself into a wall they can't climb. A man once told me, "Your calmness makes people afraid of you." I smiled and said, "I don't want them to fear me. I just want peace within myself." Because that's the difference. Control isn't about domination, it's about direction. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can decide not to stand in the rain. Epictetus once asked, "If someone calls you a donkey, do you check a mirror?" Of course not. You already know who you are. That's true freedom to stay grounded in your truth, untouched by opinions. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, when someone acts wrongly, it's because they don't know what is right. Teach them through your behavior, not your words. So when others act out, your silence teaches more than your arguments ever could. Because maturity doesn't shout, it stands firm. And sometimes, the loudest statement is the peace you refuse to lose. The Stoic way to end the story, rising above judgment and reclaiming your peace. They're not reopening your past because you're weak. They're reopening it because your growth makes them uncomfortable. When you rise, you become a mirror. Some people don't want to see the gap between who they are and who they could be. So they reach for the only weapon they know: your history. But hear me clearly, they don't attack because you're broken. They attack because you've healed. And a healed person is hard to move. So remember the 3 Stoic moves that end the game with dignity. 1. Acknowledge without shame. Yes, that happened. 2. Convert mistakes into lessons. I've learned from it. 3. Ask instead of reacting. Why are you bringing this up now? These aren't slogans. They're breaks for your nervous system and boundaries for your peace. Think about your own life. The job you lost taught you responsibility. The relationship that failed taught you truth from illusion. The betrayal taught you how to guard your heart without hardening it. Each chapter was tuition for wisdom, not a life sentence. The Stoics never asked you to forget, only to become. Because real freedom isn't erasing the memory. It's being calm when it returns. You don't have to convince anyone you've changed. The people meant to walk with you can see it without a speech. The ones who refuse to see it wouldn't believe you anyway. Let your behavior finish the argument your words will never win. So when your past gets mentioned again, breathe, soften your shoulders, and smile, not in pride, not in pain, but in peace. Say it to yourself, I am not what happened to me. I am how I chose to rise from it. Close the chapter, not with a slam, but with a steady hand. Because the story isn't over, it's finally under your authorship. If this message found you, pass it forward. Someone out there is still fighting ghosts you've already laid to rest. I've closed that chapter. My story moves forward. If you're building this kind of inner peace, subscribe and stay with us. Each week, we train the calm.